Good evening, everybody. It is almost 9 o'clock, and on August the 11th. You know, okay, now today it was really hot. It was like 96, I guess, degrees out there, Washington State. And from what I understand, we were hotter than California. But I'm doing this video because I was at the DHS office. Had to set up an appointment to have one of their doctors check me for depression and anxiety. Okay, we're all going through the depression and anxiety with what's going on. I get that. But with my situation and having to stop working suddenly, for the same person for 10 years. Anyway, let me put it this way. If only she had just said, I had to let her go for health hazard reasons, I could have had unemployment to hold me out until I get a different job or until I get my disability. My eyes are going on me. My back has always had problems, but it's getting worse, and so forth. And the situation that caused me to stop working suddenly was not my fault. But anyway, I digress. The problem is I was over there and I was thinking about life in general. I know my kids wish that I had had them under better circumstances and so forth and so on. And that's one of the reasons why my daughter doesn't want to have any kids. And I don't blame her on many fronts. But the problem is this world. We're seeing the results of why we're at where we're at. But it started, like they say, a long time ago. We had been conditioned. We had been, told just to work hard, do what we're supposed to do, raise our families, raise our kids, and raise them to be good citizens that worked. Okay, now, as you know, everybody has their different levels of learning, different levels of being, and so forth and so on. And they're different talents. But the problem is you have certain people that know this and that decided to take advantage of this kind of stuff. I don't know, every time I turn around I hear somebody's in the hallway. But the thing is this is the way that the forefathers really, they claimed that we had freedom. There was no freedom. It was freedom for the people that already have. That's why they decided to own people. That's why they thought they were better than others to do that. That's why they think that certain people should have more than other people. And it's just a vicious cycle. And we as humanity, we didn't know any better for the longest time. But once we started waking up, that's when they saw. And that's when they started, this dumbing down and indoctrinating and, how shall I say, they knew who was gullible, and they used it, and they used them. And unfortunately, the most gullible people were of the Christian church, because they've always taught we're going to go on missions to save these people, to save those people, those barbarics, you know. And it's like they say, their view of saving was even to the death. Enslavement, you know, owning. And that's humans for you. And this is why, unfortunately, people like me that were brought up Christian, I have my faith, but it's like I say, I'm deconstructing and reconstructing and trying to figure out the truth in me. What is the truth for me? And my truth, I can't necessarily push it on anybody else, but I live my truth. And that's the bottom line. When you live how you see your faith should be, that's what makes the difference. That's when people look and listen and pay attention. And unfortunately, or fortunately, a lot of atheists already have those basic truths in their heart. They just don't credit it to God. But in my heart and my mind, we are all part of that spirit being. So that's as far as I'm going to go on that one. I didn't want to scare anybody away. I'm not going to start preaching. My preaching goes to the extent of, like I say, I was in that office thinking about the history of stuff, how we got here, and why we're in this situation. Because, and what we can do to get out of it. And like I say, I've already been doing my boycott because a lot of my money I've already gone through. And now I'm trying to sell my bike so I can pay some more bills. Unfortunately, I had to borrow some from my daughter. And I don't want to do that. The last thing I ever wanted to do was to borrow money from my kids, But the thing is people I know, this is one of the reasons why I did this video. The people that I listen to and that I know, a lot of them don't have a lot of money. Unfortunately, they live a more honest life. They live that life that we were brought up with. Work hard for what you have. You do the best that you can with given what you can. But, unfortunately, the Republicans are, well, we got this through our hard work, which we all know is bullshit. Bullshit. But, they used people, they stepped on people, they took more from them. They didn't give them enough as far as to earning what they had been very well. They took for themselves. And of course, that greed just grows and grows and grows. And so instead of helping out their fellow people, especially the people that work for them, they hoard it and they hide it, and they give their Republican friends, politicians, money so that they can get away with stepping on people more, causing environmental and all types of bad things happening, pollution, bad work environments, so forth and so on, you know. And then they also don't mind with, you know, if they can pay off a little bit so they can do what they want with whoever that they want and then pay them off. It's like, it's a sick type of society, the people that are the 1%. And I know most of us know this, but the thing is how do we change it? Boycotting. I heard this one guy say, stop consuming. If we all stop consuming, buying nothing for a week, and we could do it, you know, and try it out, they will have a change of heart. You know, just a little bit. They'll be like, well, they're losing money, and then try to figure out how we're going to want to come back and spend it. The bottom line is, though, the only way that we're going to cause all this garbage to stop, with people being put in those internment camps, with people like in D.C. that they're going to start coming after. I know. This is how they work. I know they're going to go after the blacks. First it's going to be in D.C. and then it's going to be in others, just like they did with the Hispanics, you know. And they're just not going to be happy. And I heard this one Oriental lady saying, why don't our Oriental brothers and sisters say anything against this? You know, it's like we all have to speak up. We all have to say something. We all have to do something. We may not have much, but what we do have, make use of it. This has been my philosophy ever since this thing happened, you know. And one of the reasons why I was thinking this was because I'm like, well, I had my GoFundMe up for a week, and then this thing with trying to sell the bike, and I almost got scammed out of it, you know. It's like, because the people on our side, we try to make our money honestly. And so we give what we can, but we don't have it like those Republicans, the GOPs, and all those 1%ers, you know. And I get it. And this is why I don't do a whole lot of videos like this, because I understand everybody's going through it. I'm just like everybody else. I'm really frustrated. And, you know, the sooner that somebody gets their minds in order and helps to get rid of this fascist regime, the better off we all will be. And I don't know that J.D. Vance is going to be much better. Sorry, Charlie. But anyway, I just need to get on here and say this. You know, I don't know. A whole lot of people don't hardly get any views. That's okay. If somebody can, you know, see it, and maybe it resonates, good. Anyway, I love my America. and I just want, I have my flag up for hope that we can get our country the way it's supposed to be. God bless you all. As always, try to be kind, especially to those that don't look like you. Try to be kind to somebody that you don't even know. And especially be graceful, especially with yourself. Stay true.